Cast.
Right, we are back with another number podcast. A little bonus podcast this week. We've got John from Virtual Rugby League, big Cas fan, going into the Challenge Cup game. John, how are you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm good, thank you. Looking forward to having a good chat and, looking forward to the weekend.
All right, so go from where it starts for you. Was your first memory of watching Cas?
First memory of watching Cas. I think I started about 2014, 2015. I think they were giving free tickets away at high school I used to go to. Obviously, it were we say dark days, but I think we're back in them again. I think one of my main things from what Challenge Cup, we were the semi-final versus Leeds over at Doncaster. I think where Rangi Chase went up sideline, decided not to pass.
Rangi Chase.
Yeah. And then I think it might have been Danny Maguire or Sinfield put a goal over, and then I think they went to the final that year. I think they got beat by but I think that's probably my main one. And obviously the week after I went to Headingley to play him again. I think they put 40 on us, so it was a double whammy by Leeds that year. But yeah.
Well, better times were going to come from those. Is there any players from those early games that stood out to you? Have I disappeared?
No, we got you.
Saying, is there any players who stood out to you from those early days?
Oh, me, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. From those early days, obviously, Rangi Chase has got to be the number one. It drew people to watch the game, really. Obviously, I was always a bit of a prop forward when I was playing, so seeing someone could do things, obviously you couldn't. It was a big draw, and I think he was probably admired rugby wide. I think we've had a bit of a chat before about players that you just admired from other teams, and I think Rangi were always one of them. So he was definitely one of my favourites. Who else? I always like Craig Uby.
Oh, Craig Uby, yeah.
From a forwards point of view. Yes. There's been a few, some really random ones that I always liked, but I think definitely Craig Uby is a forward and Rangi is a back, from the earliest move.
Yeah. I think Rangi Chase, one of those players, and you'll agree, Ben, he had the world at his feet, and for whatever reason, just didn't quite live up to the potential he had.
No, he was, for a good 2-3 year period, one of Super League's, one of the best players, and one of the most best to watch. The stuff he used to do, the behind the back passes, the ridiculous dummies he was able to do, and that semi-final against Leeds, he scored an incredible try in that game, if I remember correctly. It was just that, where he just looked like he should have been tackled about 7 different times, and he just somehow made it to the line. And he's definitely go down as in the Super League era as one of the most box office, those type of players where they just do things that other players don't often do. And it's a shame we don't have more of them at the moment, I think, because they're the best type of players to watch always.
It's
the structure that's been put into the game, it's almost coaching that kind of out of players, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like maybe had Ben Barber. I mean, the way he played, it's quite similar.
That type of thing.
Yeah. There is a particular Castleford fan I do want to bring up, and there's a bit of a favourite of mine and Ben, Mr. Mick Morgan.
Yeah.
The legendary commentator. Have you ever met him, or has he always sort of been in the shadows?
I bumped into him. He's normally around the ground at some point, or I think first time I bumped into the pub before the game. To be fair, so he's still very much a Castleford man. He enjoys the game and going down and mixing with fans after and stuff. So he's still very much a part of the Castleford scene. Is Mick?
Yeah, I think we'd better that stadium, that lad.
Yeah, genuinely. I think you're right. To be fair.
Yeah, I do miss the boot room just over the road. That was a cracking pub. Yeah,
honestly, it's there's nothing else near the ground now, and I think the club's trying to kind of act on that. They're having happy hours and lowering beer prices to try and keep the fans in. But the boot room were definitely a lot of memories in there. After wins and they were a good place. So.
I don't know what it is with Castleford, but they just seem to create these characters. I mean, you've got obviously Mick Morgan, the commentator, and now you've got Wagger doing his thing at halftime.
Yeah.
Before the game, and that fella's nuts today.
It is, yeah. I think it is. It's a strange one. We all come from these small towns, and we produce some of these absolute belting people who, I don't think they'd come from anywhere else. Type of thing. So, it's very much. It's one of those things that should be studied, really. People come from these small areas, and it's a crazy one.
Yeah, I mean, I always make a point to go in Castleways. I love the stadium. It reminds me of Nosey Road. You just it brings that back to me, the way it's set out and all that. It's a lot of people say like, yeah, it does need probably knocking down and rebuilding, but it's just part of the character of the team, really. Isn't it?
Yeah, I think Cas fans will be the first to probably admit that it does need a fair bit of work doing. I'm sure you'll see if you come on Saturday. There's been a bit of work done. They've tried to polish it up a bit. But it's not going to happen overnight. We're having the 4G pitch put down, stuff like that. So the intent's there, and I do, as a Cas fan, you've all these false dawns of stadiums and investment, everything. But I think Martin Jepson's definitely is a real, and is actually following through from what he says as well, which is all you can really ask for, really.
Yeah, like you say, I mean, it will get there eventually. It's just being able to afford it.
Yeah,
Now there's a particular Castleford side that I want to go into, which is 2017.
Yeah,
a very successful period in the time of Castleford. The squad that they had. I mean, John, if you want to go through the players you had around that time, I've got a list up here,
Yeah, well,
it's a great team.
Remember, it's ironic. I was watching, because I'm a bit tragic. I was watching 2017 Cas v Warrington earlier, and I think we had Greg Eden, Shenton, Greg Minikin, Jake Webb, and we had Rangi Chase and Luke Gale in the halves.
Yeah.
And I speak to most Cas fans, that is probably like their dream team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it was a crazy time. I think we had Andy Lynch, Grant Miller,
Greg Eden.
Eden. It was just incredible how we had a fair amount of Cas lads in that team, or local lads as well, in that team. I think that's one of the biggest reasons we've kind of gone the way we have, because we don't think we've had a proper Cas core anymore. Do you know what I mean? And I think obviously Saints and dare I say Wigan are probably top and Leeds are probably top of the table, keeping core groups of people who care about playing for the team. So it just matters that little bit more, if you know what I mean. So
there's development in youth, isn't it? Over a long term, it gets you that like that. It's a good point. Like one of Cas's best teams played rugby the right way as well, entertaining. And yet you look at like periods where Cas have been really poor, Wakey and when KR before the resurgence recently. They were always at the poorest when they were full of reserve grade Aussies.
Yeah, 100%.
And that they were trying to get, as it's Australia, so anyone this blue sky thinking that if they're from there, they just must be good. But, long-term investment in your youth is the way to go. And then, that it lowers that bill so you could potentially spend the money you've got on less players from abroad, but a better players from abroad as well.
100%. It's quality over quantity. And I think that's what a lot of people are probably worried about the rising quarter war. People will just bring more mid-tier players rather than top-tier stuff like Ben Barbie. Like, I'm sure he costs probably,
probably half a salary cap.
Yeah.
But it's. I feel like we're getting back to that. I think we've got like Fletcher and Jensen Winley and a couple of lads coming through. So hopefully we kind of copy what you guys are doing and attack it that way.
Yeah, there's other names popping out here. You got like Mike McMeekin, who's still going strong. Jesse Senna-Lefeo at the time, cracking player.
Yeah,
very young Jake Truman.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I think Truman was probably one of the only products we brought through, really, and then obviously he left to FC and stuff. So we can people from that era. I think they've all gone. I don't think we've got a single member of that squad left. And not even in like the backroom staff either. I think all of them gone to Wakey, ironically, which is a bit killer. You see, 2017 Grand Final captain Michael Shenton. In a way,
I still love Michael Shenton. What a player he was.
I know.
He was really well.
Yeah, well, we didn't treat him properly. We didn't treat him right here.
No.
Still, a lot of string of bad decisions we made around that time. That was one of them.
Yeah. Well, did he get injured in a grand final for you guys?
He did. It's pretty much the reason we lost that grand final was Shenton being injured.
Yeah.
And he scored one of the 2 tries, and we had to move like 3 players around when he went off, and then they scored down his side 3 tries in about 8 minutes, and that was it. Game over.
And then Rob Burrow happened.
Is that?
Well, you see, the thing is about that game is that happened at the start of the game. We were well on top with about 14 to go, and that wouldn't have mattered that moment. It was Shenton going off that was the moment that changed that game. He was a cracking player. Yeah.
He was. Under, I think he was possibly he's debated. I think as far as English centres go, I do think he's. I don't think he's won anything, has he? Did he do anything with you?
No.
That's one of those.
No, Mets got league leaders.
Well,
not when he was at us.
We got league, so we got 2 league leaders. He's won a couple
of consulting rugby league projects in a minute to find out.
yeah, but
he's only with us for 2 seasons. I thought he was there for longer.
No. Well, apparently he didn't really want to be away from Cass at all, and it was just a bit of a money thing. And then, certain people behind the scenes for some reason wanted to get rid of Michael Shenton. We barely had any centres at the time, which was a crazy decision. But someone who
moved away from that.
Yeah, someone who when you think should have won a grand final. Should have won a grand final. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the fair point. To be fair, he should have done. When I talk about 2017, you think about everything that happened up to the grand final. It's and then I like to just move on.
I think the biggest name that stands out from that team, the club at that time was Darryl Powell. Arguably, he's his best run as a coach, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was massive. I think we got him from Fev, which was raised a few eyebrows. From not just Cass, from Fev as well. We kind of pried him from there, but we got him, and he just seemed to get it. Do you know what I mean? With a small club, and I think he does thrive in smaller clubs.
It definitely didn't work at Warrington, did it?
No, it definitely didn't work at Warrington. And I think that's why it's kind of worked at Wakey as well. I think they were definitely obviously they're having a lot of success now, but obviously took over in the champ. And they were I think they're just giving the reins and said, get us out of this mess.
Yeah.
Always seems to be like a backs against the wall spirit where like they're just really fired up his teams when they're in those positions of being underdogs. And I think he was a bit hard. I mean, he did have to go from Warrington, but I think it was a bit of a circus and behind the scenes there from certain things I know from people that, at Warrington. I don't think anyone around that time period would have succeeded at Warrington. There was some big egos at that club at the time.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's the funny one, Warrington. It's, again, it should be studied. There's something going wrong there, isn't there? It's one of those clubs that they should have won a grand final with all the money they've spent.
Yeah.
I
mean, we like to make a joke of it. Me and Gaz like to make a lot of jokes about it, but at the end of the day, when you think about it seriously, it is like, how? Genuinely, up to the cap since the mid-2000s.
Yeah.
Use the marquee rule since that came in. Attendances way higher than they were, in the 90s. They've got that new stadium. Not once, and they've been in like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah,
it is like they are cursed at times, isn't it?
Yeah, it is crazy. It is, because I know it's. I'm say, look, there's a lot of teams that have spent nowhere near as much money or have not got the facilities or anything like that. They've won many grand finals.
Well, I think going back to the youth point, in the past they didn't do that as much as well, and that is something that the last 6-7 years they did really start to put a focus on, and now I think you're seeing a bit of a benefit. So I think it'd be quite fitting if it did end up happening for them. It's when they've got some of the most amount of youth players from Warrington they've ever had in Super League in the team at one time.
It won't surprise me if you see is it Ewan Irwin there? I think if you saw him lifting a grand final trophy above his head in next 6 or 7 years, I think it'd be very fitting and kind of really prove a point that they were going wrong all those years by throwing some, Kurt Gidleys and
Tyrone Roberts.
You could probably put a pretty strong NRL squad of players have signed. That never worked, type of thing.
Andrew Johns.
Yeah, Andrew Johns.
Part of me does wish we still had that registration rule. You can't actually do it anymore. You can't sign players that late. But it's quite funny if you could just get like, all right, there's Reece Walsh for 2 games. He's going back. That's it.
That would wow.
I mean, it goes to like this 27 Cash side. Like, look at the local lads who are in there. Zach Hardacre, what he went on to do. Andy Lynch, Greg Eden. There's a lot of players. There's probably more. But
there's more.
Like I say, they are there. It's just having the structure to bring them through together, isn't it?
It's I think they're all mates as well. I know the fact they all knew of each other before playing for Cass as well. So, and they still all live local as well. Like you drive through Cass and you'll see Greg Eden. I think he's a roofer now, so you'll see him. Nathan Matthew lives around the corner from me. So they're all still here. They're still Cass lads. I don't think they'll ever not be Cass lads. And I think almost as a point I've just thought is like players like Cam Smith live 20 minutes from me, and he's played 10 years at Leeds Rhinos. Do you know what I mean? So, and then obviously he's off to Wakey now. So I think out of a lot of talent over the last.
Well, that is
because we've not invested in in the grassroots, getting players, local players to our to Cast. So.
Yeah, and that is a struggle. Because it's all well and good just putting money in, and it does take a lot of time. You got to be patient, but then you've got the behemoth in Yorkshire of the youth game that are Leeds, and they are ruthless. And to be fair, I can't say anything. Saints and Wigan do it in the Northwest.
Yeah,
we don't care just about our lads. We will go to Warrington, witness. We'll try and go to Wigan if we can, if we think they've overlooked people. And Leeds seem to have that same effect where Wakey and Cass and even Huddersfield to an extent. So many lads from those places have come up at some point as a teenager into the lead system, and because they've got those facilities there, and it is maybe it's just that's what it is at the end of the day. But it's just time and money, and it's easier said than done. At the end of the day, it's not an easy thing to do overnight. Like develop a good youth pathway.
Yeah. It's, I think the summarisation of this little chat is that I think it does all start with youth, definitely. By the top clubs are the top clubs.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at like the players who've come from Oldham alone, Kev Sinfield, Barry McDermott, Tommy Martin, Paul Sculthorpe, they've all come from Oldham. Imagine Oldham if they had something in place to keep the players.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, they'd be a force like they used to be.
It happens a lot, and that's when, there's usually are very rich owners too, but they are curtailed a little bit in this sport with the carpets. The fact that all that money from the bigger clubs usually just goes on that youth, and we've kind of said it, we've reiterated it a few times now, but that's why they ended up being the big clubs. They weren't big overnight from day one. I think that's just been a thing throughout decades that these clubs have done, and it's it'd be good to see more clubs hopefully in financially able to do it, so they can keep more of their own talent, and we can have more of these top sides of like local lads in it. And I think it just makes the atmospheres better and the games more intense when it really feels like it's actually Saint
like one of your own doing well.
Yeah, actually Saints and actually Cass, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I've loved loads of players that aren't from here. It's part of sport, but there's nothing like a local, one of your own. It makes it really big. There's a connection that, as much as you might love an Aussie, you'll never love him like the same. They'll never get you quite the same as well, I don't think either.
Yeah. I mean, if James Roby was from Huddersfield, I don't think he'd be
still be a legend, obviously.
As good as he is. He won't be as high regard as he is because he's a local lad.
Yeah. It always just makes it a bit extra. Always does, I think.
And it's like the kids who are watching, they know where he's from and think that could be me. Like that genuinely could be me. Like from whatever, local teams that are around you, I'm sure he'd play for one of them and they're going, well, I'm playing for this team. This is where James Roby started and this is what he did. And I think, again, going back to those players that you appreciate, I think James Roby was. I think we could talk for hours about him, really. But one of those players I respected. He's one of those, I liked it when he was injured, when he was playing.
Yeah.
It was, it's, you always thought, we've got half a chance today, Roby's not playing. But he's a legend. Definitely. He's one of them, I think, obviously, if we didn't love Saints that much, I think I'd have loved to see him in NRL. 100%. I think we were tailor-made for the NRL, to be fair.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've touched on the 2017 season. Going to have to go into that playoff semi-final. I know it still hurts, Ben, but it is what it is.
Ryan Morgan. If I ever
did win,
see Ryan Morgan ever again,
I'll never forgive him.
I'll never. The ball was going dead, Ryan. For God's sake. Right, never mind. I have to curse the name of Ryan Morgan every time that game's brought up here.
I don't think it's
again. I mean, it's a game that Castleford deserves to win. I mean, we scored more tries, but our kicking game let us down in that game. Obviously, Luke Gale, precise with every kick.
Yeah. I don't think you ever saw that. I think Luke Gale started like a kicking academy or something like that. And I think he posted about it the day after and I think someone tagged Mark Percival in one of the posts. And it got a fair bit of traction from Cass fans. I think Percy took it quite well, to be fair. He had a bit of a laugh about it, but I remember that was funny. And
Mark is a backup kicker for a reason. I think he'd be the first to admit he should never be anyone's first choice.
I mean, we had Fadge on the bench for crying out loud.
Yeah.
In fact, we had Matthew Smith in the team. I mean, that doesn't really say much, but. I mean, Luke.
Slow, didn't you? Or am I thinking it wrong season?
I'm not sure. This is
because they didn't because you got Barber later on, and you brought Justin Holbrook later in the season, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think it coincided with him coming in. You guys kind of really kicked on, didn't you?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, so this was it Holbrook's second season? It was 2017. Yeah, 2017 when he came in, wasn't it?
2017 is his first one, yeah.
That's
his first half a season. He was there for the last few months, yeah.
So really, we had no rights being in the playoffs, never mind the semi-final.
No,
yeah.
I remember thinking we should be okay here because you were okay all year, and then you think you kicked on when he came in. And I remember I was confident going into that game, and then I remember there's after we scored the first try, and then you guys just rallied, dug your heels in. I remember thinking, oh, this is going to be heartbreaking. Yeah. But whatever happened, Luke kicks that drop goal, and I'll be honest. I've told my wife this. I've got 2 kids. I'm married, and I said it were the best day of my life. That.
You know what? I'll let you off that. I will let you off that.
I've never had that. Like the release of emotion. Incredible. But obviously, that was peak of our season. To be fair, because obviously the game after. Again,
I mean, you finished league leaders that season as well, which no one gave you a chance at doing at the beginning.
No, it would definitely exactly. We almost came out a bit out of nowhere, really. I think we were building, but I don't think anyone thought we were building to that.
Yeah, because I remember 2014 was a decent season a few years before. Because I remember near the end, Cass was still in the running for the league leaders that year until the last few weeks.
Catalan, we went to Catalan, didn't we, last game of the year, I think.
Yeah, because we'd actually lost to let you take the league leaders, and then inexplicably lost to Catalan, wasn't it? I think that's what happened.
I think I might be biased. I think there were a couple of decisions that didn't go our way. I don't know if it was the same game, but I think we went to a video ref decision, and because the cameras at Catalan at the time were atrocious, they couldn't see the infringement because the camera didn't go that far back.
Those old.
Let's be fair, the cameras are still garbage now.
I mean, they're still pretty bad, but God, they are.
But obviously, it might not be. I might be getting it. But I do remember that game going back to that. Absolutely gutted. Because again, I thought that was going to be the peak of,
Yeah, but that was, I think that was maybe a little sign of things to come. Maybe, that they were going in the right direction a little bit.
I think we did get to the Challenge Cup final around that time as well, because I think we played Leeds in a Challenge Cup final.
Look, you knocked us out the Challenge Cup that year and all, actually.
Did we? Yeah, God.
Just looking through here.
Yeah.
But I think we have played each other quite a bit in Challenge Cup.
Yeah. Quite a
lot.
lot.
I was saying before we started recording, we haven't played you since the final you beat us. And again, I thought at half time I thought we were going to win, and then
I did. I thought you were going to win at half time. Then I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend. Oh yeah, I knew. Nah, I was sweating.
Yeah, I think it was Big Passy came on at half time, or came on in the second half, and he absolutely just started. I don't know, playing like a prime Willie Mason. It was absolutely.
I think that's the best. I think that's the last time he played a good game for us as well.
I don't say that.
No, to be fair, Parsi was excellent until the thug from Lee tore his leg apart. Unfortunately, but that was a good final, that as well. I always thought it was a shame though about the reduced attendance that year. With everything that was obviously going on, because I think that would have been a real cracker like atmosphere with a fuller, a busier Wembley that year.
It would have been. I think it's. Again, Cass, we turn up for the finals and stuff. Obviously, we don't make many of them, but the town really supports the club. You know what I mean? It's I'm obviously like you do, and it's almost sometimes you see the teams that get to these finals quite often. You see the fans almost. I don't want to say get bored of them, but the novelty is not as. Well, again, I'm speaking from outside him. The novelty doesn't seem as big as when. Teams like Salford and Cass get to these things, and you don't know when you're going to come back. Everything, you know what I mean?
Remember all the neutrals who just go to the final for the day, like they were all backing Cass as well, which everyone wants to see an underdog win, don't they? If not to disrespect the Cass team from them, but
No, we were massively underdog. I think we played Warrington in that semi-final, I think, wasn't it? And no one gave us a chance of winning that. And we somehow just dug deep that day and we managed to win that. It's, I think it was Powell's last season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think he put all his eggs in the Challenge Cup basket, to be fair. And we just dug deep. And I was happy just to get to the finals for that year. And obviously, at half time when I thought we were going to win it, but it's sport, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Joe as well. That final. I mean, we came out out of Wembley, walking back round to the coach, and this Cass lad comes up to us, goes, "Yeah, lads, can you do us a favour?" I was like, "Yeah, what's up, mate?" I went, "Listen, I'm 30 years old. I've never seen Cass win a trophy. What's it feel like?" I was off for fuck's sake. But that's just the humour of like rugby league, isn't it? You know what I mean? You just have a laugh.
Yeah. I think you get a lot of that with Cass as well, because we don't win. We don't win a lot. We don't win often. I think people do find a bit of humour in it. It's But I'm gonna say if you don't laugh, you cry.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Fair, go back to the. Sorry, mate. Go on.
I'm gonna say not to think, but the little Leeds dominance, the Rhinos dominance. You guys were, the second team, the second best team there for a year, weren't you? So I'm sure you probably appreciate the highs of the last, from that dominant period a lot more because you're.
Yeah. Well, it's not exactly the same, obviously, but I will say my favourite grand final win is 2014, which came after losing 5 grand finals in a row.
Yeah.
Not one of our legendary teams. We had loads of players out going into the game. Then obviously lost our only half back in it, and we just did 5 drives and a kick for 79 minutes. Yeah. And that felt better than the glorious 4 in a row. The Holbrook 19 entertainers, as great as that was, it does. It's obviously on a smaller level because it had been, I think, 8 years since we'd won the league. So it's not quite the same, like compared to other clubs. We are still lucky, but that's still the best one.
It's what you said, isn't it?
Yeah, because you had stopped getting used to it. Like I think you do as fans of bigger clubs, you do. Yeah. People might deny it, but it's not the same as if you've gone a bit without it or you're an underdog and you win. It's always better. It is just better. It is.
It is. It's just it's a relief in it when you win. It's like just a relief, opposed to like an expectation. I think that's kind of where Wigan fans have been. And I think when they lost last year, I think it was a real kick in teeth to them to kind of say like, this isn't given. You don't just get these given.
Yeah.
There's other teams that are going to come and take it off you if you don't work hard enough for it. And
Yeah, I mean, like there has been a few clubs like yourself, Castleford, Huddersfield got up there, Salford, Lee, but okay, I've actually managed to do it and knock us, Wigan and Leeds off our little pedestal there.
Definitely.
Right. Just to go back to that 2017 season, that was when we still had the Super 8s, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Do you reckon if that was just a standard playoff, format, would you have had more energy going into the final and had more chance of winning it?
No, I don't. I don't think energy was Cassie's problem that year. I think it was the whole having to play Greg Eden at fullback. Zach got caught doing what he got caught doing.
Yeah.
And I think Zach I think Luke Gale won the Man of Steel that year, but in my opinion, I thought he was by the best for us. He was the only thing we kind of brought in that year that I think elevated us from maybe a 5th or 6th team to a possible champion team. So I do think Zach not being there was massive. But equally, we'll never know. that, I think it's quite it's one of those, even for Leeds fans, like a Cast fan, all we have to do is go, yeah, but if Zach were playing, we'd have won. And like it's almost not fair on Leeds because they didn't get to play Cast at their full.
I think it was some of the players Leeds had as well. Like, even though they weren't the best team that year in the regular season, it was like the last hurrah of those greats where, brilliant, they'd all won at that point about 12 major trophies, and not many of the Cast side had. And I think it might have just come down to that with the add-on effect of the turmoil, what it must have been like behind the scenes in the week as well. Like, all that added together, because it's different playoffs. Gaz mentioned those teams that have like the little 1 or 2 year stints. They come up. We've had Huddersfield win the league leaders. Cass have, Salford have had good years with them in the top. And I think if it was a first past the post system, maybe more teams on a one-off would have won the league if it was with finishing first. Playoffs makes it so much harder. Like, it's really tough, really tough format to do.
Yeah, it's one about it. Because of the Zach incident, it's not something I've really ever thought about, to be fair. I don't know, it's like when you've got this big glaring kind of, as a Cast fan, you've got this big incident, you don't really think about much else, do you know what I mean? So it's not really something I thought about, to be fair, but maybe that into it. I think getting to the final, such like an emotion dump as well. Like, it wasn't like we didn't breeze past you. We had that big moment. You know what I mean? It was a big, So maybe a few players got there and thought, we should win this. I know, like we put quite big scores on Leeds that year. Well, I
remember one of the Cast Leeds games at Headingley. I'm sure it was one of the ones at Headley, just absolutely battered him everywhere and throwing the ball around. And I actually remember saying to her, me and mate were in a pub watching that, and I was thinking, Cass are winning the league. They just got to win the league, because that was that same team full of those Leeds greats. And they pasted him, but it's just when it gets to the grand final, some of those games just become horrible as well. Don't know what it is, but KR found out the first year they got there. And I think they had a similar moment where they won that semi, and you could say, oh my God, KR are in a grand final. And I think everyone just bought into that was our moment.
Definitely. It's it's a funny one. It's a lot of ifs and buts. And I think it's not even that year. I think the year after, I don't think we pushed on the way we should have done. And can you look at how Hull KR have done it? How they did it when they got beat by Wigan, and then they brought a bit more experience with Hargreaves and McAlordham, and they did the treble. So there are a lot of things. I don't think Cass were possibly ready for the success. The way that I think Hull KR were at the time, or are. So there's a lot to look back. When you really think about it. There were a lot of things that maybe didn't line up for us that year or 2018 as well. Because, I remember the first game of the 2018 season, you absolutely thumped us, didn't you, at your place?
Oh, God, yeah. Jesus, I forgot about that.
Sure, I remember that was when Ben Barber threw Greg Eden's touchdown about.
God, that was that year, yeah. I remember that now,
It was a big game. We were kind of a bit thinking, right, we'll go again, like, no worries. I think turn up to your place, first game of the year. You clearly didn't take that semi-final very well, and absolutely to us. I remember thinking,
I remember this now.
Like this is, are we back to?
It was the Ben Barber show, that game, wasn't it?
That were his and Holbrook's first 4 years, wasn't it? And they absolutely just shut up, really.
So you mentioned Zach Hardacre before. Ben Barber's another. If he'd have behaved himself, what he could have been. I mean, if he could behave, he wouldn't have come over, would he? Let's be honest. He'd have stayed in
that is true. He'd have never played for us if he'd have behaved himself.
He hasn't even thought about coming over here.
not once. So.
Well, I think there's something to be said for like great players just being a bit mental. Do you know what I mean? You think even like Andrew Johns, by all accounts, he was just a bit mental, but he kind of just got away with it.
It's been able to keep a lid on it at the right times, isn't it? But I think a lot of them, I like, it's like the old that stereotype of the flawed genius. A lot of them are eccentric and have big egos, and that can lead to. But I think you've got to have it. I don't think that's like a coincidence. I think you've kind of got to have something about you, because you have to have so much cockiness and self-confidence. Otherwise, I don't think you ever push on and become a great
look at
player
Michael Lewis
without
now.
it.
I think he's the latest one there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. When you're screaming at some bloke in a bar asking how his career's going, he's a character. He's definitely a character. I think the biggest job Ulker now have is keeping Mikey Lewis on the field in a gun, really. Because it would be a shame. He's got a lot of talent. It would be a massive shame if anything ever went wrong massively or big enough to jeopardise his career.
Yeah. Also, to move on from that, I mean, look at Castleford in the moment. What do you think needs to be done now to? I don't want to say stop again the wooden spoon or anything like that, but to get them back into the mix.
We need to. No, it sounds daft. We need to start winning. We need to remember what it's like to win, and we need to start enjoying play. Obviously, it's all right for me. I don't know what it's like in the changing rooms, but I think there's not many players left from the last 2 seasons that have got that almost losing mentality. I think Carr's come in, brought a brand new bunch of players in who haven't got those mental and emotional scars from the last 2 years, have taken all those good hidings, and we need to start just enjoying the rugby. And I think wins will come from that, and then obviously wins breed more wins.
So we'll have a case like this new team gelling together first before.
Yeah. It's like saying you know how to win, don't you? You just know how to win. Like last year in playoffs, you shouldn't have won that game against Leeds.
No way.
But you did because you give up and you don't wait until that final whistle blows there. So that's the type of mentality Cass need. I think that's what Carr keeps saying is compete till the final whistle. I think that's what to do really, is just keep competing and start enjoying.
What about the I mean, I think we know, like, obviously, no matter with what coaching setup you had, the current Cass squad would never finish first and win the league, but do you think they can be doing a lot better than they are? Do you think there's potential to be, at least like bottom end of those playoffs, just outside them, around there?
I mentally brought the league into 2 tables this year. I put Cass, Huddersfield, Bradford, Toulouse, York, those 5 teams kind of in their own little division. And I wanted to finish above that. And if we could possibly finish maybe 1 higher, that'd be a bonus. Do you know what I mean? So it's, but then after what I've seen, I do think we could pick a couple of, a couple of scalps this year. I think if teams turn up with the wrong attitude to play Cass, I do think we're putting ourselves in some sort of a position to catch a few teams, unaware. Because we've got some good players. We have like Papa Lange. We signed him from Newcastle really late on. I think he were in country 2 weeks, and he turned up to Doncaster, and even they looked head and shoulders above what we've had there previously. So, he had
a bit of a brain fast against Leeds at the weekend, though. He's just at the ball.
I mean, I saw a lot in that game where that game should have been closer. Cass bombed a lot of opportunities. They should have scored 2 or 3 more. There were a lot of good breaks, some good set plays. It was just like you said, there's that gelling. It just felt like it was a little bit, the last pass, the last run, the last decision was just a bit missing. But that's going to be a great Leeds team this year. And I think the score did flatter them. I think they flattered them in the end. They kind of ran away with it. Maybe the edge dropped a bit at the end. But,
I think it is a different type of frustration now because you can clearly see where we're going a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
As before, it was all bad. But
it's like all the pieces are there. It's just putting them in the right places.
Yeah, 100%. It's like you were saying, the Ravalawa not jumping for the ball. Leeds score directly off that. So it's like,
yeah,
mistake, try, and then like you say, we made a couple of half breaks, and Zach Sini is a centre playing at fullback, and he just wasn't on the shoulder. You know, where you have Wellsby, he would have been. Matty Lee's making a break up middle. He's on his left hand side, right hand side.
Yeah,
he's going under post. Whereas unfortunately, Zach Sini, for all he's safe on the eyeball and carries well, he's not got that instinct of a fullback. So it's those little things, we're missing, but they're obvious things that you can almost take on board.
Yeah,
but I don't accept no effort, and I think that's what we were kind of getting last couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the bird in them, isn't it?
It looks like they're interested now, doesn't it? It looks like they want to be playing.
Yeah, so I mean, I think they look like they're enjoying themselves. They enjoy playing.
I think if you look at the early starts of like Toulouse, York, Bradford, they're not superstar-ridden teams on paper.
No.
Like they're just being coached well, I think, at the moment, and I think Cass would probably take a bit of. Obviously, you might think it's a bit shit in a way because they might be around you. You want to finish above them, but also. You should look at them and think, if they can do that, like we can, we can as well. Like,
no, that's it. It's
we only just got over the line against Bradford.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that game. I think if it weren't for Sharks coming on 2 minutes early, I think he'd lost that.
Oh yeah, apparently so. Yeah, that's what we're hearing about anyway.
I'm joking. But no, it was close. But Bradford, they just don't give up. I think they've kind of bought into the fact that no one really wanted them in Super League, and thought, we're here.
We'll show you.
Yeah, we'll show you.
That is a well-coached team because they played together. Like they knew what everyone else was doing. In fact, they looked more fluid in attack than we did at times. Like they threw the ball about just like we did, but ours was like no one seemed to know where the offload was going. They were just throwing it around, and everyone knew. That's coaching. Everyone knows what they're meant to be doing at all times, and you've got that. You can play above what's on paper because the game's not played on paper at the end of the day.
No, 100%.
Connor Wynn's showing what he's capable of as well. He scored 2, didn't he?
He did as well.
Yeah. He's been an absolute handful. Every time I watch Bradford plays, he's like he's got bloody spiders on him. He just doesn't stop.
And they're being well coached because Wonga Blake's playing well multiple times. He's already had more good games for Bradford than he ever had for us.
Oh no!
So
the only good nights he had in St. Helens is when he had his pants pulled down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the only good nights he had for Osborne.
all the good nights he had was that Friday in Imperial.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I mean that one at Lee.
Sorry, I'm just giving Gaz. I'm just giving Gaz PTSD here. Sorry,
and he just instead of running for the line, he stops and goes inside to get tackled. I'm thinking, you dickhead.
You know what? He's been a handful for Bradford, so fair enough.
Yes,
they're getting something out of him, which shows that even some of the players that one season might look like no hopers, with the right coach, the right setup, you never know. And I think there's potential in this cast side, and I don't know. And I think we're going to move on to it in a sec, but I ain't not looking forward, to the weekend, considering we've got about 1.5 props left in the team, and I think there's a decent pack there at Cash, and I just think it's going to be closer than people think. This,
it's going to be a tough game, I think.
Yeah.
No,
I'm looking forward to a hot dog. To be honest, this is the best hot dogs in the world.
Well, that depends because we've brought out catering in house now, so the stalls and stuff aren't there anymore.
Whoa!
Oh no!
Whoa!
The pizza prima van, that's gone.
Oh,
I think
it's my favourite away for the stalls. That's why I loved it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'd take my little boy to the games, and he's like, "Are we off for a pizza?" And as we went around the corner, it wasn't there, and he just
oh no.
He goes, well. You could tell on his face he just didn't want to be there. You know what I mean?
If there's one thing that he had right last season, that was it.
I can understand that. I'm sure money-wise, that's a better decision. I'm sure. Knowing hospitality, I've worked at it a bit, but still, the pizza. Come on.
I completely agree.
It was good pizza, wasn't
it? It was. I liked my nights a few times last year.
Well, me and Gaz talk about when we have our weekly rants about the match day experience at Saints over the last few years. We use Cass as an example of you can do a lot with a little. It's it's an old school stadium. It's not the best modern one. Yet the little setup they've got near the corner of the stand where the away fans go in. There's a DJ, there's people playing, there's stalls, there's little like ale cask kind of set up there as well, a cool bar. More than we do. Our big shiny plastic thing that we play in, way more than we do. Yeah. And I think a lot of teams could learn from that. I expect your neighbours could learn from that because their match day experience is shocking. Wakefield, it's absolutely shocking.
Well, that's it. Again, it loses. Like I went to the pre-season friendly at your place, and it was efficient enough. Yeah. But there were nothing. Like I get what you mean. There's no real
nothing there. And we put a lot of effort into week one and then stopped, which annoyed me.
Yeah,
it's like our first home game. We had singers in the concourse near the bars, fairground outside for the kids. I was like, "Here we go. This is more like it." Oh, we don't have the money to do that every week. That was for the first home game. We're not doing it anymore. I was like, "Oh, come on! You got to do not everything, but something. You got to do because ours is pretty poor. At least we have done our bar up, and our bar's a lot better at the stadium now outside. The stadium.
There's a lot better in there.
There you go. That's something at least. Because
we've got an actual brewdog bar.
Do you think it's to do with like the know you're going to turn up? Like you've got you're a successful club.
Yeah, of course it is.
Where the content with that stuff.
It's because it's a nice modern stadium. The seats are nice. The terrace is nice. And the team is usually in the top four, and that's exactly what it is.
The way end has a roof. Like some of the places.
Like some of the places, yeah. Hey, listen, I can forgive some of the smaller teams. I'm not forgiving Leeds. Leeds have no excuse. No excuse.
There's millions on that stand.
There's millions on that stand, and there's still a little concrete hill for the away fans, and it's like you not got half a mil for that. Come on.
No. Well, right. So we'll put ourselves on the spot now. Is there any predictions for the cup game?
Oh God, I'll go first. Dare I say? I think it'll be 18-16 to Cass.
Oh, I like it.
I'm being glass half. I've been sat at work today, and I just thought we could do it. I would like to think, I saw obviously Shorrocks has got his ban. You've got all these injuries. And I think I've seen enough so far to warrant us putting up enough of a fight if we turn up properly. Yeah.
So that big win's due, isn't it?
It is, yeah. That's what I mean. I think we like I said, we could take a couple of scalps. And I think, unfortunately for you guys, you are possibly in the most vulnerable position you could be in all year. I think with us being at home as well, it might do us a favour. But equally, if Jackson Hastings gets on the ball and keeps putting that ball on Ravalawa's head,
he's been the for me. He's been the difference because we started shaky. We're lucky to have won 3 or 4, I think, in the league. It's a whole new, completely different philosophy and culture being put in at the club than we've had, and clearly it's taking time. It is taking time.
Yeah.
Without Hastings just doing the simple things like, passing the ball well and the kicking game, we've not had that since we've not had it really since Lewis Dodd was injured, because even when he came back, he that went away from him as well. So. Yeah. That simple game management has been the difference for us because we've just not had that for a while.
Yeah,
I'd go far as back to say Luke Walsh.
He was the best kicker we've had since Hastings overall. Yeah, Dodd had a decent run in 21 and beginning of 22, but yeah, definitely Luke Walsh is definitely the best kicker we've had out of ball out of hand. But Hastings is very good, and that might be the difference. Prediction, like I said, it's. The injuries are tough. Now, we've got the type of squad where I don't think we should completely use that as an excuse for a lot of it, but it's the fact that a lot of them are concentrated all in the forwards and specifically the props. Wells be missing is big, but I think there's good players there that can still play. we've missed Percival, but we've had good players in the centres. We might miss McDonald, but then Percival comes in. That's all right. It's so, that pack is looking really light. So light. And that's what the game for me is won or lost. If you can't make the territory, you can't get up the field, you're unlikely to score. So, I'm going to be a bit positive because people say I'm too negative. So I am going to say 2016 to Saints. I think it's going to be a tight one. Our forwards will have to play very, very well. Like Clemmer's going to have a big, big game on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Clemmer. He's a big workhorse, isn't he?
Yeah, he just racks up a lot of meters, and that's what you need sometimes.
Yeah. I think it's going to be low scoring. Maybe about 12-10 either way, but I'm going to go Saints. But it is one of them. Couple of points in it, like you said yourself, John.
Yeah. It's going to be a good one, I think. And
it's tight. I do think it's going to be a good game. I think it's taken maybe 8 players missing for you guys to probably level it a bit for us. But it's going to be a good game. You
can only play what's in front of you. So
that's 100%.
Yeah.
But
we can't complain about injuries because everyone gets them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we've had, obviously, we lost Blake Taff first game of year.
Yeah.
And then we lost
another fullback gone there.
Yeah. And that were our pitch's fault by all accounts. And then, oh God, that fan base will whinge about anything.
So most of ours do and all.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's be a tight. I think it'll be a good game. But like I think you said earlier, that grand final you won, it would like 4 kicks and 4 drives and a kick. I think.
Yeah.
That what it could be. Jackson Hastings keep it simple and Saints do defend well. It's. I think that could do it. I think we sometimes lack a bit of creativity. And Jackson Hastings, if he knocks a couple of 40-20s over, it's easily done. But we've got a small pitch.
And when you've got someone that can kick like that,
100%.
That's what we're going to rely on. Because I do think, in the forwards, we'll struggle to make some yards because of how many of the buggers are out. But then if Hastings can get you out of trouble with a kick to the other team's, try line, even if you've only made 20 meters, that might, so we are going to be relying on him because I do think, they're going to be up against it, our forwards, because I don't even know what we're going to do. I don't know if Parsley's going to come back. Apparently, he might be injured as well. So even the last ditch eighth choice props are injured as well.
Got to put Owen Bagel at prop.
I think they might be asking me, get me boots back out at some point. Well, yeah. I wouldn't want any of them cast forwards tackling me. I don't think I'd get up.
No. Our pack, personally, it's coming together well at the minute. We've just signed George Hurst from
Wigan.
Yeah, Wigan. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but
no, we've
the dark side.
Yeah. And he's a cracking player. I think he was one of them that bought. I don't know why they bought him, and they've sold him space of 6-7 months to us. So but he's a tackling machine. I think him and Jordan Lane in our back row have been really good the last couple of weeks. So. But yeah, I'm never 100% confident against Saints. So obviously they never write you off. So it's
right.
But yeah,
at least Wigan, we built Billinger to keep them out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that atmosphere. It's one of the last few old proper rugby grounds, and all right, the steps are a bit wobbly, and you're not in cover. But you're also the closest to the pitch you'll ever be,
that's it.
Which is what's great. Like that's the thing that's missed as well is a team coming back and a fan base right next to the pitch, just giving them and then giving a little bit back. When you're so far away on some of these other grounds, you don't really get that. And I used to love that as a kid at Millsea Road.
Yeah,
I was a little terror-me.
It's when these players, for a lot of younger fans and even for ourselves, that they are like superstar celebrities, aren't the type of thing. It's and to be in genuinely like touching distance of someone, it's a big deal, isn't it? Especially when you have other sports like football where you can't really get 5 minutes with people, but in rugby league you still get the the walk around, sign stuff, and It's still.
Oh, if it even look like walking in their direction, the handlers have got you.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Look
you
at
know,
Messi's bodyguard. He's
yeah,
just comes from nowhere, don't I?
yeah. So you like to say when Liverpool won the league in the football, you didn't see any of them out in Concert Square in Liverpool. Whereas
No, did you?
when we've won grand finals, you go out with them after. You go out with the players in St Helens after. It's just different, you know. You just don't get that in other sports. And yeah, I'm sure for Cass, a new stadium that's big and shiny will bring a lot more money in, and that'll be great. But just be careful what you wish for a little bit, because you'll never have quite the same atmospheres. We've managed to get decent stuff going in the West Stand for some big games, but it's not on the level the Nosey Road big games were. Not on the same level. You know?
No, I completely agree with you. Completely, really careful what you wish for. It's almost, I just like them to keep Weldon Road exactly how it is.
Yeah.
Just everything needs to be newer. You know what I mean? Like it's build.
And to be fair, like, you know, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, but Wakefield are kind of the blueprint for, you don't need a big shiny new stadium. You can do a lot with what you've got as well.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I was the biggest critic of the ground. A few years ago, I stopped going because it was horrendous. And now there's still that one side which isn't great, but they are showing that with their hands tied, with their own new stadium, things that have happened with them, they've still been able to do a little bit, you know, with the proper man behind the scenes. And I think Cass have that behind the scenes a little bit now as well.
Yeah,
stability.
One stand at a time, isn't it? You know, it's
you
know, they've done the Neil Fox stand, and I think then they're going to go up to the kind of the north somewhere, all their home.
That's it. The big one,
And they'll work their way around, and maybe by 2030 or 2031 they'll have it all done. It'll look really well, and they'll preserve the atmosphere, you know, of a small stadium. So
you can still maybe keep the soul of the stadium a little bit by doing that.
Keep people in the same area. I say it's residential, so there's only so much building you can do, isn't there?
Of course, so you've got to be creative. It's not easy. Like you got to think, and a lot of the time deal with councils, which Cass know all about dealing with councils.
Oh God, yeah. It's every time Labour knock on the door around here, I'm like, get bloody Cass's stadium started.
So you want my vote? Stadium for Cass. There you go.
Yeah. And I was got some little old lady looking at me like I've got 5 heads.
Too busy not filling in potholes to build a stadium properly.
Well, that's same everywhere then.
Definitely.
Well, John, it's been great on your mate. I've had a good chat. To be honest, the way it was going, I thought, bloody, I'm only going to get half an hour here, but we're over an hour in, so we've done really well.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
Anything last minute you want to throw in, or plug your socials if you want?
Yeah, that's a good idea. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok under Virtual Rugby League. My badges top right corner, so just look out for me there. If you see me at the stadium, just shout hello. And hopefully I might see you guys down at the One Bar, as it's now known.
I was going to call it the Jungle. That's the end of it.
It's the Jungle. That was a great name.
Not the Mendo's Jungle, the Jungle.
No, not the Mendo's Jungle. It's the Jungle. Let's not forget. Do you remember the final name of? Do you remember the final name of Nosey Road? What the official final name of it was? That was
GPW Recruitment Stadium.
The GPW Recruitment Stadium. That was it.
It was Nosey Road, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Right. Cheers for that, John. Anyway.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, mate. And me and Ben will be back for our regular podcast time recording tomorrow. So we'll see you again. Thanks again, John.
See you later. Cheers.